In recent years, the Porcupine Mountains have become one of my favorite places to visit. I love to spend the morning at Lake of the Clouds Overlook, watching the sunrise over the mountains. This is a video of some of the travels I made to Porcupine Mountains in 2021, both in July and in October. I hope you enjoy. And if you do like the video, I hope you'll take a moment and subscribe to the channel. When people think of the Porcupine Mountains, most of them seem to think about Lake of the Clouds and the Overlook. It's probably one of the most photographed areas at the Porcupine Mountains. But let me tell you, there's a lot more to see while you're there. Water sure seems to be a highlight here at the Porcupine Mountains. From Lake of the Clouds to the numerous waterfalls, from the little ones to a little bit more impressive ones along the Prescott River. So make sure you take the time to do a little research and see where you can go to see some of these unique waterfalls. The Porcupine Mountains is a pretty large park, and you find yourself doing a little bit of driving. And I tell you what, it's not bad driving through God's country. On the far western edge of the park, the Prescott River runs into Lake Superior. Such a pretty area that many people just seem to overlook. It's worth the drive. Prescott River has some of the most amazing waterfalls. And with the Nunsuch Shale, you're going to find some of the coolest little pools. There is a nice little hiking trail around it. Some of it's a little more difficult than other sections. There are areas that are pretty accessible with a wooden boardwalk and stairs, and the rest of it's kind of, the old traditional rustic hiking trail. No matter where you hike, you're going to find beauty along the rivers. This is unfortunately an area that not as many people tend to see when they're visiting the Porcupine Mountains. The Summit Peak Trail takes you along a nice little path and boardwalk area to get you to the highest point in the Porkies. There's a nice little watchtower up above that I got a little bit of video from, not as much as I hoped. I did a time lapse on the trail back there. You can see you hike up a little bit. There's benches and other people, and it's a pretty scenic walk. This is a trail I definitely recommend that you consider taking. So you can get all the way to the end of this boardwalk and climb up to the tower. The tower kind of reminded me of the old Forest Service towers they use for spotting forest fires. But the view up top is unbelievable. Unfortunately, I hit the wrong button on the camera and didn't get a good picture of it on the way from the top. The trail back Overlook Falls is a pretty easy trail to hike back to. Overlook Falls, kind of a cute little waterfall you can have your picnic lunch on. Then you continue on down some little more tricky paths, some little wooden walkways to Green Rock Falls, and there's a couple of cabins back by Green Rock Falls you can rent out and spend the night at, so you don't have to carry your tent if you want to do some backcountry overnights. Green Rock Falls is a little slower area and still rather pretty. And the cabin back there looks pretty interesting, and I hope just one night be able to spend the night there. That's definitely something to consider when you're visiting the Porkies. When I was in the Porkies in July, I did a lot of exploring. Probably hiked a little bit more one day than I should have. And when I went to Muir Lake, that was my last hike of the day. Hiking from the escarpment trail back down to Muir Lake and back up to the Overlook. I also hiked that day back to Summit Peak and started the day at the Prescott River Loop. Got a lot of hiking in before I headed back to the campground. I spent a lot of time at Union Bay Campground. It's an area that if you want to take your boat out or you just want to hike and explore the Porkies, is a good base camp. It's a modern camp with electricity, pretty nice bathhouse, and pretty clean showers. Union Bay Campground sits right on Union Bay off of Lake Superior, just a little bit west of Ontonagon. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on this little trip. I wish I'd done a better job of capturing some video. It's definitely going to be a goal of mine for 2022. So if you did like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, I look forward to seeing you on the other side of the video. Screen, lens, something.